Hey everyone, I'm going to be doing a book review on The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So this is the book that I mentioned in my last video, which I had finished reading, and it's one of the few books that I remember finishing and then rereading it right away back to back from the first read. And so I just wanted to go over some of my thoughts, and hopefully I can make this video short and concise. Okay, so first of all, this book is very readable. It's very easy to read, and the format of the book is in question and answer formats. He compiles the questions that he's been asked the most as a spiritual teacher, and then he answers them. I will say that the main points of the book are as follows. So the first section talks about how you are not the thinking mind, and how thinking has become a disease for a majority of humans these days. And that the mind can be a tool, but it's almost as if the tool has taken us over. And let me quote from the book: "You are unconsciously identified with the mind. It is almost as if you are being possessed without knowing, and so you take the possessing entity to be yourself, but you are not the thinker." So he urges us to disidentify with the mind. He also says how thinking is only a small part of consciousness, which I agree with. I think as a chronic overthinker, I really resonated with this first part of the book, just because I think I've always valued my mind, my thinking. I think a lot of us do, especially if you are someone who identifies with, being smart or intelligent. The logical part of you is always going to be like, my mind is my best quality, and what am I if not my mind, right? But in fact, we are not our minds. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, the second part of this book talks about the pain body. The pain body is something that I'm still trying to understand, although I know I'm not technically supposed to try to understand it. I think there's a YouTube video of a quote that I really like from him, and he says that something along the lines of, your understanding of the truth does not contribute to it, which is quite funny, I think. So I am trying to understand it more, because I do think that I have a very strong pain body. So the pain body is basically the accumulated negative energy field that occupies the mind and the body. And the intensity of the pain body depends on the amount of resistance that you have towards the pain and the present moment. So similarly to how the mind needs you to think that you are the mind, the pain body also makes you think that you are the pain body. It needs you to identify with your pain and your suffering in order for it to continue surviving and for it to continue being. And one of the quotes that he says in this book is that you would rather be in pain, be the pain body, than take a leap into the unknown and risk losing the familiar, unhappy self. Because ultimately, all fear is the ego's fear of death and annihilation. So those are like the main two, I think, aspects, like the main 2 points I would say of the book. The rest of the book, there are a lot of main points, but the rest of the book goes a lot into like how you resist the present moment, how you can move into the present moment, move into the now, portals into the present moment. So yeah, I'm gonna go into a few sections. Let me just check what section this is actually. Page 77. I do take some notes on multiple sections. So this comes from the chapter called Mind Strategies for Avoiding the Now. So I did highlight like some parts of this book. I know this page looks like it's not very highlighted, but it's just parts that I think are very helpful to me. So let me read it. Make it a habit to monitor your mental, emotional state through self-observation. Ask yourself, am I at ease at this moment? Or you can ask, what's going on inside me at this moment? That's a really good tip on how to make yourself more conscious, because you can't have You can't be conscious and be unhappy. Let's see what else I wrote. Page 82. There are 3 options you can take if you find yourself unhappy. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have 3 options. Remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. So that also really helped me because I think I've been going through this situation with my job and my unhappiness towards it, and it's kind of gone to this tipping point where I felt like it was really intolerable. I also really love this portion where he says, or is there something that you should be doing but are not doing it? Get up and do it now. Alternatively, completely accept your inactivity, laziness, or passivity at this moment, if that is your choice. Go into it fully, enjoy it, be as lazy or inactive as you can. If you go into it fully and consciously, you will soon come out of it, or maybe you won't. Either way, there is no inner conflict, no resistance, no negativity. I also really like that section because I think I have a lot of resistance to when I am not doing anything, to when I feel like I don't want to do anything. If I just want to lie in bed and watch TV or sit on the couch and watch movies, I have a lot of inner resistance to that and a lot of negative self-talk that comes through doing those activities. I will be like, why am I so lazy? Why am I so this? So I feel like that section really helped me with that. What else? Okay, let's see. Page 85. That's just the next page. Oh yeah. Are you waiting to start living? That's a good question. Are you waiting to start living? Because a lot of people spend their whole lives waiting for the future. Okay. That's another great point, Eckhart. Okay, let's go to 11:11. 1:11. To become conscious of being, you need to reclaim consciousness from the mind. This is one of the most essential tasks on your spiritual journey. So I think I am trying to go through that right now. Haha. I am going through this reclaiming of my consciousness from my mind, which ties back to you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts. You have to disidentify, okay? Disidentify. Okay, 2:10. I know this is not a conventional book review. I'm just reading quotes from the book, but you know what? I think it's a good summary you can get the vibe of the book from my quotes. Let me drink some water. I have no more water. Okay. Okay, 2:10. What is it? By focusing all your attention on the now, the unconscious resistance is made conscious. And that is the end of it. You cannot be conscious and unhappy, conscious and in negativity. Negativity, unhappiness, or suffering in whatever form means that there is resistance, and resistance is always unconscious. Facts, king. And then finally, those who run on mind energy, which is still the vast majority of the Earth's population, remain unaware of the existence of spiritual energy. It belongs to a different order of reality and will create a different world when a sufficient number of humans enter the surrender state, and so become totally free of negativity. If the Earth is to survive, this will be the energy of those who inhabit it. So there you go. I love that quote, and he does talk a bit about, how we are destroying the planet, how it's kind of insane behavior. What are we doing, guys? But yeah, I rated it a 5 out of 5. Sometimes his writing, and he does kind of like address this in the beginning of the intro of the book, because I think he wrote a new intro for it after maybe in 2000s or something, because this book was published in 1997, about how sometimes his writing can appear blunt, or I don't know how he says it. Let me find the quote actually. He says, "And if at times I speak forcefully, it is to cut through heavy layers of mental resistance and to reach that place within you where you already know, just as I know, where the truth is recognized when it is heard." The way that he writes is supposed to draw you into a level of which I do think I agree with. And I would highly recommend this book. It really didn't take me long to read. It's about 200 pages. So yeah, 2 thumbs up. Okay, bye.